Lesson planning. It's a basic part of the day for many educators. But in our hectic lives, it's so easy to rush through our lesson planning. It can leave our classes less meaningful and less fun than we'd like them to be. What if you could create even more powerful lesson plans that were stimulating and fun? Plus, what if your lesson plans were so well organized that they gave you data to plan next week's lessons and next year's lessons? I'm Matt Miller. I taught in public schools and wrote my own daily lesson plans for more than a decade. I'm the author of Ditch That Textbook, a popular book that has sold tens of thousands of copies around the world, and a blog that reaches more than 100 countries. I'm a Google certified innovator, a Skype master teacher, and I get the privilege of working with thousands of teachers every year at events and trainings around the United States and beyond. I have always struggled with writing lesson plans. And the crush of grading and emails and extracurricular activities and meetings, I've always struggled to find the time and get the systems in place to do lesson planning effectively and efficiently. Can you sympathize? Things have changed. I've found several strategies, tips, and tricks to make lesson planning more meaningful and more effective. Now, this isn't the superficial stuff that just makes you feel better about it. These are strategies and protocols that you can use to stay organized, to make more informed teaching decisions, and to save you time. And I'm going to share these strategies with you in a 4-part video series that I'm calling Awesome Lesson Planning Made Easy. And in today's video, I want to share with you an easy protocol that you can put into place to keep your lesson plans structured. This will really put your lesson plans to work for you. This approach is inspired by the bullet journal phenomenon. The bullet journal is kind of a 3-in-1 approach to journaling. It combines a calendar, a to-do list, and a journal all into one. And there are lots of ways to do it. Some people take a very artsy, creative approach to bullet journaling, and others use a very minimalist approach and use it to be efficient. There are tons of resources that you can find at bulletjournal.com and by searching bullet journal ideas online. Now, before you go down the bullet journal rabbit hole, check out this way to apply it to lesson planning. My favorite part of the whole bullet journal approach has to be the bullets. They're these little icons that go next to everything you log. And at a glance, you can see what you have to do, what events you have coming up, and what you don't want to forget. And after reading about it, I started to realize that these bullets were the missing element of so many lesson plans. What if we used specialized bullets or icons or abbreviations to help keep our lesson plans organized? I mean, think about the possibilities of it. It would let you see how often you use different types of activities, which standards you were hitting just at a glance, and what teaching strategies you were using when. You could even tag questions for later, improvements to make next time, even the funny things your students say that you don't want to forget about. So what would that look like? It could be as simple as putting a little circle before a line on your lesson plan book and filling it with a simple icon or an abbreviation. Let's take a look at some ideas. I mean, it could be something just as simple as putting a T for test or a Q for a quiz. If you've got something that you need to grade or a deadline that's coming up, you could just add a little icon for it. You could even use this to log the level of depth of knowledge that you're hitting. You could use it to log standards. You could even use emojis and put them next to things to reflect on it and show how you and your students felt about those parts. So, how can you put this to work for you? Let's start small. Grab an index card and a paper clip. Write just a few icons or abbreviations that you'd like to use on that note card with a short description of what they mean, just a couple of short words, and clip it in your lesson plan book. Stick to those few icons to help you organize. until you realize that there's something else you want to track. And then just add that icon or abbreviation to your card until you've got a system that works. And just keep updating it whenever you'd like. Now, if icons and abbreviations aren't enough for you, or if you'd like a different approach, a color coding system can definitely work as well. They can work hand in hand together, or they can work totally separately. Just add the colors with highlighters or colored pins to your index card and what they stand for. And you can use those just as easily as icons. When you look back on your lesson plans, you're going to be able to see how often you're hitting certain standards, how often you're doing checks for understanding, how many great ideas you had that week, and the ones that you and your students both loved. That is great data to have at a glance for planning next week's lesson and to use for planning next year's lesson as well. Now, does this approach actually save you time? In the end, yes, absolutely. You invest a little bit of extra time up front creating icons and abbreviations and color coding, but after that, how much extra time are you actually spending by adding these things to your lesson plans? It's virtually none. But if you think about the rewards that you reap, you're more informed and you're more aware when you plan the following week's lessons and future lessons. It's really a win-win. Now you might think, but I write my lesson plans digitally. This isn't for me, right? No, this approach definitely is for you. Create your own abbreviations and short codes and just stick those at the beginning or the end of a line in your lesson plans. You could use emojis as icons to make it more visual and fun. It's pretty easy. You can even use an extension in Google Chrome. I use emoji for Google Chrome. Or you could just use the emoji keyboard on your mobile device or tablet. Icons, abbreviations, and color coding to lesson plan. If you're not using this already, I bet it feels like your lesson plan book has new superpowers, right? Well, let's keep adding superpowers to that list. In this video, we leveled up the organization of your lesson planning. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to level up the content of your lessons so that what you do in the classroom is more meaningful and powerful. So, how do you think you can use this in your own lesson planning? Do you already use some of these techniques? Or do you have something to add? Please let us know in a comment below. I'm anxious to see what you're excited about and what you already do.